Am I the butthole for refusing to cancel my wedding because of my sister? So, I, 25F, and my fiancé, 23M, known each other since we're kids. We dated for 2 years and we are very happy together. The day he proposed to me was the happiest day of my life. We intend to get married next year, when the world is a little more normal. The problem started at a family dinner when we announced to everyone that we're engaged. My older brother and my younger sister, who is also my best friend in the world, were immediately excited and my sister came jumping with joy to congratulate me, but my older sister was very upset. She didn't accept the fact that I was going to get married first than she was. My older sister pulled me aside and asked me to postpone the wedding until she could get married first. She thinks that, being the oldest, she should get married first than me. I said no, that I wasn't going to do that because it wasn't fair to me or my fiancé. She doesn't even have a fiancé and I don't want to have to wait until she finds someone, spend time with that person, and be asked to marry, get engaged, and get married so that I can get married. My older sister started to cry and say that it would be very humiliating for her if I married first and that it would be like destroying her. My parents and some uncles ran to comfort her. My mom asked me if I couldn't postpone the wedding a little, for my sister's sake. I again denied it and said it was going to happen. Now my parents and many of my family members are bombarding me with messages and calls asking me to cancel the engagement and calling me an butthole for refusing. They say that if my fiancé and I love each other so much, we can wait a little longer. The only ones who stayed with me were a few uncles, my grandparents, my brother and my younger sister. I don't want to humiliate my sister or make her sad, but I don't think it's fair what she's asking me. Am I the butthole here? Sorry that you think birth order might mean wedding order. How far would you take this? Not having a child until she does? Not buy a house until she does? Not take a high-paying job until she takes one that pays more? You are NTA. Be well and enjoy your future. I agree with user I fart a lot too. How far will you be willing to let this go? You do this once, the sister will keep coming back and making you wait. NTA. Yep. You won't be allowed to have a baby first, buy a house first. The list keeps going. What a joke. What if she never gets married? Then you must die and old woman unmarried? What's next that you have to wait in line for? Sucks that she's upset, but if she's an adult she'll get over it. It's petty of her to ask you to waylay your own happiness on the off chance that one day, maybe never, she'll get married. I'm 40 and never married. I am also the eldest of 3. I would never think to ask my sister to wait for life to happen to me first cause it would be embarrassing and it's my right as the oldest. My sister got married about 11 years ago and divorced 3 years ago. She also had a baby at 16. Imagine if I asked her to wait? So stupid. I agree. Sister doesn't even have a boyfriend. It could be 5 years before she gets married, but what if she never does? Should Op and her brother and other sister never get married too? Sister can pound sand. She's an entitled who thinks everyone needs to plan their lives around her. No, just no. I suspect Op's sister is a pain in the arse and has limited prospects for finding someone who wants to marry her anytime soon. Then again, I didn't get much sleep and I'm being grumpy and unfair. I'm sure she's a shining ray of light 99% of the time. Legit, my dad was told to wait until my uncle could get married first. Then when my parents got pregnant first, they scrambled to adopt. I ended up still being born earlier, but it's kind of sad because even now it's clear they don't treat their adoptive son as well as their younger bio son born a few years later. They only adopted because they felt they shouldn't be beaten by the younger brother, my dad. That is so screwed up. Their intention of adopting was so that they could have a child first. I have no words. The other reason is that there's a belief that adopting a child will bait the conception/existence of a bio child. So parents who really want a son may adopt a son to bait for the existence of a bio son. But I'd say that this other reason is equally, if not more, effed up. This adopted cousin, as far as I know, was never told that he's adopted. We're of different ethnicities, but still Asian, though phenotypically different, and I don't think he knows he's not the same ethnicity as the rest of us. He ended up dating a girl of the same ethnicity as my family, and she often comes over to our events. She may also think that her boyfriend, my cousin, is the same ethnicity because of that. He's sent to uni, taken care of physically and financially, but even as a child the bio cousin get away with way more than this adopted cousin. That's why that bio cousin is a huge dick and my adopted cousin is, to be honest, more dependable as a person. It's now an open secret that I think only my adopted cousin and some of the younger cousins don't know. I agree, not the butthole line the slightest. You need to be 100% clear with your sister and your relatives that this is 1. Outdated and frankly sexist thinking. 2. Extremely entitled and inappropriate. 3. Crossing boundaries that you will never be okay with. Family or not, no one has the right to ask you to withhold your personal happiness. If you apologize at all for simply marrying the love of your life on your own timeline, your sister will likely make this an issue all the way up to the wedding, and may even try to sabotage your special day. If you cave, you may likely have to wait another 10 years to marry your fiancé, seeing as how someone with your sister's attitude may have a hard time finding a willing partner. My older sister tried to get me to agree to this a long time ago, before I was engaged or even in a serious relationship. She just whiningly asked me to promise her I wouldn't get married first, and I just laughed and said absolutely not. The only person this is more insulting to other than myself is you. Stop embarrassing yourself and start living in the 21st century. What's next? You want me to make sure my dowry will be less than yours? Outdated, yes, but what makes this sexist? It's based on a time when women were considered to have a very brief time in which they were marriageable. You'd come out, become available for courting, at somewhere between 12 and 16, depending on region and time period in class, have around 5 years of being eligible, and if you didn't marry by then, your chances became much worse and you were likely to be stuck as a poor and powerless spinster. So it's based on women having a marriage expiration date. NTA, your sister and parents are being ridiculous. Ignore them and have your wedding, with or without them. This 100%, hate to say it, but if all she cares about is getting married first and not celebrating your happiness, best not invite her to the wedding. If all she cares about is getting married first, find someone out for a green card and have a good prenup. Piss off to Vegas and boom. She can also get the first STI, first unwanted pregnancy, and divorce first. Being first doesn't mean being better. Malicious compliance, elope. Only invite the people on your side to a tiny service. Then after your sister gets married, have a wedding. Bonus points if you outdo her on everything. NTA, obviously. Hijacking a top comment to say if the sister is acting like this it may be a clue to why she's not yet engaged. I think there is a cultural aspect. Edit, no, Op replied below. This is just the sister acting entitled. Your sister and parents are being ridiculous insane. Why should you have to wait? Why can't she wait? This idea that the oldest should marry first is ridiculous. Life is short. If you and your fiancé are ready to get married, make it happen. You're not a bad person just because your sister hasn't found someone. NTA. NTA. Your sister and family are crazy. Is there some kind of cultural aspect that's driving this belief that she should be first? Or is she just thinking that as oldest she gets to have all the special events first? Even if you were to acquiesce to her demands, what is next? She tells you and fiancé not to have a kid and that she gets to have the first grandchild? I would make sure you password protect your plans going forward, not allowing her to be alone with your dress, etc. Maybe I have been on here too long, but the stories of the crazy people resort to when they don't get what they think they should is astounding. We are Brazilian and in our culture there is nothing to say at what age we should get married. She just believes that, being the oldest, she must be the first in everything. I'm Indian and birth order for marriage is this weird thing that societally people care about, but it's not important. My cousin, younger sister, secretly got married with only my family and her younger brother present because her parents and older sister demanded that older sister get married first. After several years, with older sister still not finding a man, the rest of the family relented and younger sister finally got to marry her husband again in a public wedding. My cousin has been married for almost 14 years, her children are 12 and 8. Her older sister is still single. Imagine if she had chosen to continue to delay her marriage and future family for her sister. I am also an older sister. My mom saw this crap show play out and told me that if my younger sister did end up getting married first and I ever threw a fit like this, she would make sure that it was the last thing I want to her did. Tell your family members that you may have considered it if your sister was anywhere close to being engaged, but she's single and you cannot put your life on hold indefinitely. Your family is more than welcome to attend, or not attend, the wedding, but it will be taking place as planned. Your younger sister will be your maid of honor, and if your father doesn't get his head out of your older sister's ass, then your brother/grandfather/uncle will walk you down the aisle. Congratulations on your wedding. Anyone who feels differently shouldn't be present. Today I messed uply put. NTA and congratulations on your engagement. This is so weird. You are 100%, not the butthole here, and I'm so sorry that they have made this weird for you. Do not change your engagement/wedding because of anyone else. Congrats, and I hope you and your boo have a great life. Seriously, don't even entertain this idea of postponing. Thanks for watching. Comment on what you think was the best part of this video. Subscribing and hitting that notification bell on YouTube is a great way to get our content. You can also watch it on Facebook. A link to our page is in the description. See you soon.